Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Top. Yeah.
What's on top?
What's on top?
What's on top podcast
Yes.
is the podcast for all you tops and bottoms out there. Bottoms need not apply.
Exactly.
No, welcome to What's on Tap.
Exactly.
Where we are once again trying two beers.
We are, and not, and maybe one of them's on top of the other. Maybe one's a better beer than the other.
I believe that one of these beers will be better than the other.
I believe so too.
I believe so strongly.
100%.
I think we're starting with the one you just held in your hand, which is from Evil Twin, New York, called batch number 1000, brewed in NYC. And it is a old ale brewed and conditioned on maple syrup. Clocks in at 13% ABV.
Woof. That's a lot of beer.
It is actually
much higher ABV than I thought it would be.
Oh, you didn't expect the old ale to be strong? Sometimes they are.
I expected it to be 13%. Yeah. I expected it to be under 10, actually.
It is a quite beautiful, dark amber, light brown, not light brown, kind of dark brown color. It actually looks like a dark barley wine, which most old ales do. When I smell it, it doesn't give off the maple syrup that it promises.
Yeah, I get more like Belgian candy smell and honey. Yeah, something kind of like that. More dried fruits, kind of.
And it's worth mentioning that we were responsible and took this out of the fridge a long time ago. So it's actually...
it's pretty much almost a little under room temp. So kind of where it should be.
I think it's perfect for drinking right now.
Yeah, and there's some good lacing on the glass. So that's promising.
Yeah. Like cappuccino colored foam.
All right, well, let's
cheers.
Okay, so one of the problems I usually have with maple in beer is it's really drying.
Yeah. So
I find that quite often when I have a maple stout or something, I like the idea of it, but the results are usually not my favorite because it usually comes out very, very dry and kind of lacking in a lot of the syrupiness that I associate with maple syrup.
Not in this one.
This one does not have that problem at all.
If I were to blind taste this, I wouldn't be able to say maple because to me it tastes like caramel, almost like these Werther's original slow sucking candies. Yeah, but it's a really nice caramel flavor.
It's like caramel dates. In there, I would say not so much raisins, but definitely like dates and the sweetness
and definitely honey.
Honey, but not in like a cloying, super sugary kind of way. Because we've had some honey kind of stouts or honey beers in the past where we're just like, oh, this is just pure sucrose. It was really smooth, really rounded, very, very drinkable. This would be a perfect companion to cognac or coffee or something with a little bit of a bitter edge to it.
If I were to blind taste this, I would not guess over 8% ABV. It is extremely well hidden.
It is insanely drinkable.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I mean, just
dangerous.
Actually, very, 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 very dangerous. This is so smooth and so easy to drink, and just the finishing notes are really almost slightly herbal in some ways. And the finish is just real brilliant. I mean, this is really an amazing beer.
What is the difference between a barley wine and an old ale?
The spelling? Yeah.
Nah.
So there's more to it than that.
I just Googled what's the difference between barley wine and old ale. The distinction between an old and a barley wine is somewhat arbitrary above 7% ABV and generally means having a more significant aged quality, particularly from wood. Barley wines tend to develop more of a mature quality, while old ales can show more of the barrel qualities. That's a...
I thought it was about when it was brewed, and so you would have an old ale and a new ale, and then you would blend them because the old ale would be kind of high ABV and the new ale would be really low ABV.
Yeah.
And then you would blend them to kind of balance the two out.
That makes sense.
But this is a research from 10 years ago.
Oh, you're pulling from memory.
I'm pulling from memory. 'Cause I remember looking up the difference between old ales and new ales and kind of all. There's a lot of different strata within the different areas there, and why is it historically called an old ale? I seem to remember it being it's the old ale from the previous brewing season that has what do you call it? Evaporated somewhat, so it's become a stronger ABV kind of beer. And then you would have a new ale, which is a kind of a lighter ABV, and then you would mix the two, and then you would have a kind of something that you would not get you completely trashed on.
Yeah, I get it. Because blending, we usually talk about blending when it comes to lambics.
So if you took like a mild ale and blended this with an old ale,
you would get a regular beer.
Right, then you would have a kind of a regular standard beer.
Yeah. Because blending, we usually talk about blending when it comes to lambics, but blending historically has been used a lot because it's the only when you have batch variety, blending is the only way to achieve a consistent product.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can oh wow, this batch of the old ale got really bitter. Let's have less of it to achieve the same flavor as we did last year.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell this apart from a barley wine with adjuncts that led it into this direction.
Yeah, I don't find it super mapley, but I do find it super drinkable. It's wow. This for me is it's kind of approaching a 4.5.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I need to. Sometimes I've been biased against Evil Twin New York.
Yeah.
Because some of their beers have been really unbalanced. And I go into the experience thinking about that. I believed that this would be unbalanced. And I really need to check my bias and privilege at the door because this is surprising me on many levels.
Yeah. The only reason I think it's not quite hitting a 4.5 for me is the maple is not quite as forward as I would like it to be.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be a little more mapley in the flavor. It's just kind of sweet, but I think that the viscosity is really there. It kind of gives me a maple syrup flavor as far as like the thickness goes. The aftertaste is like this really sticky toffee, warm date kind of experience. It reminds me of like I could just pour this over pancakes and be super happy. But it's a like if we were doing tenths, it would be a 4.4 easily.
Yeah. I was just going to say 4.4 or 4.3 easily.
Yeah. But we'll leave it at 4.25. I'm not going to round up for this, but it's outstanding. I really am impressed by this. Because I honestly did not know what to expect either.
No. I honestly believe that if they had more maple here, we would say, oh, it's getting a bit too maple.
I think that's the problem is finding the balance between having the maple and giving it kind of a maple presence and adding too much, and then it just becomes too syrupy and too sugary and too rich.
Because we've had a lot of those, unfortunately.
Well, this is fun.
The second beer is from Bad Seed, right?
It is from Bad Seed, which is They're
Danish.
The Danish, yes. I don't know. I was thinking Dutch, but yeah, Danish. I was going to say Danish, but my mind was saying Dutch. I don't know what the difference was. But this is an English-style barley wine. So we couldn't have picked a closer beer to compare this to. It's a Bourbon Barrel Aged Colossus Vintage 2023, which is a double-mashed English-style barley wine aged in bourbon barrels. For some reason, I thought this was a stout. But nope, it's a barley wine.
I'm happy. This is perfect pairing.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that Stefan had paired these up with a thought behind it. But nope, it's dumb luck as usual, which is 100%. Which is symptomatic for this entire show.
Yep.
All of our quality is by pure luck, if any. Having that said, an interesting thing about this one is I had the previous version in 2022. This is a separate product on Untapped, the 2023. The one you've gotten is the only one that has a unique vintage variant on Untapped.
Okay.
All of the others are like clumped into just the Bourbon Barrel Aged Colossus.
Okay. And so what do you think about the previous, I guess, Bourbon Barrel?
I don't want to tell you.
All right. We're just on the nose. This smells, super Bourbon Barrel Aged. You get kind of the woodiness to it. I'm a little nervous about that. I'm afraid it's going to be too woody and kind of a little dry, but I really like Bourbon Barrel Aged barley wines. I think the barley wine really takes in the barrel aging in a beautiful way. So
it smells really rich.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
Try it.
All right.
Cheers.
And again, the carbonation on this thing is really outstanding. Super surprising on that. Okay.
There's a lot of bourbon in this one.
There's a lot of bourbon. This one is boozy.
Wow.
This one brought in all the barrels.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh. It's kind of a butterscotch finish to it.
I was going to say butter would be the wrong butterscotch. But we've had some butterscotchy beers that were bad, but this one stays in the good.
What is the 15.5% ABV?
Woohoo!
I would say this has a really high alcohol heat to it, in a surprising way, because it comes off and there's a bit of a burn to it. Very dry finish on this one, but very sweet on the lips. Interesting. I like this one.
So I've had 29 beers from Bad Seed, and the previous vintage of this one is my highest rated Bad Seed beer of all time. I had it at a festival.
All right.
And gave it quite a high rating.
Nice. I say traditionally I've not been a huge fan of Bad Seed. They're kind of in the middle ground with Autum, yeah, and dry and bitter, Gamma, yeah.
Looking back at my ratings, there are a lot of threes for Bad Seed beers.
They're not one of my favorite Danish brewers. They do good, not great stuff on average, I would say. Much like Autum and dry and bitter and those folks. Is perfectly fine beers. Nothing wrong with what they're doing, but they're just not like hitting that upper level quite yet. Every once in a while they'll come out with something and they'll be like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But for the most part, they're going to be in that 3.5 to, or probably 3 to 3.6, somewhere in there, that kind of range. This is really, really good.
So the previous vintage of this, in the middle of a beer festival, I gave a 4.5.
Wow.
Which, this isn't the same beer because they're different vintages. But I feel like it would have needed to stand out for me to give a high rating in the middle of a beer festival.
I would say so too. I would think it would be a pretty standout beer in that case. I don't know that this one is probably hitting those same highs for you.
It's not a 4.5, but
it's not.
I could give this a 4.25, no problem. It's good.
Yeah.
I like the the strength of the bourbon flavors.
The only thing that kind of throws me a little bit is the previous beer was so smooth.
Yeah.
And this one really packs a punch with the alcohol heat. As soon as you hit it, you're just like, kind of grimace this a little bit. It kind of hits you. It's like, whoa, slow down there, bud. Whereas
moving too fast for me.
Yeah, the batch number 1000, just like, don't worry about it, buddy. I got you. And you're going to wind up on the floor. Where this was like, hey, I'm going to remind you that there is high alcohol in this. It's going to slow you down just a little bit. But yeah, I go to 425.
Yeah. But this one is a hand on your thigh the first 15 minutes of the date. Like, whoa, buddy. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I think this is one, because of the booziness of it, you need to let it sit for maybe 15 minutes to kind of decant a little bit. Yeah. Let it breathe some. And I feel the alcohol kind of heat parts of it will kind of balance out and tone down a little bit.
But having tried it now, so my taste buds are more accustomed to it, the aroma is amazing right now.
Yeah. It smells absolutely incredible.
Because all of the really boom bourbon notes have kind of faded, and it's just this smooth jazz. Belgian jazz. Oh, are you blowing on it? It's not coffee.
I'm trying to get some of the alcohol fumes out of the glass. So we're drinking out of a tulip glass, and then it kind of holds the alcohol part. I'm trying to blow it out a little bit so some of those alcohol fumes are not as strong.
It's like blowing on ice cream. It's like the brain says, this has temperature.
Yeah.
Ooh, temperature bad. Blow on it. Fix temperature. No, but 425, it's not as good as the Evil Twin Batch 1000.
No, 100% no. So I would say this is a little on the weaker side. It's a weak 425 for me. It could also have given it a 4. I mean, it's kind of on the edge.
Yeah, but it's slightly better than a 4.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
You brought some really fun, strong beers.
Yeah, I did not realize they were both so strong.
Time to go to sleep.
It is. But these were really nice to try.
Hush, little Stefan, don't say a word.
Oh, we'll snuggle later, don't worry.
As we always do after each episode.
There is a cuddle session to decompress after every episode. So we'll wrap it up here. what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts, you can find us. So please download, subscribe, and follow, leave us a review, whatever those things are that you should do.
Comment, say that, you are the best I've ever heard, much better than all your competitors.
We would love that. That would be amazing.
Yes.
So until next time.
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.